You've been lied to, not by strangers, not by newspapers, not even by life itself, by your own mind. For years it has been whispering the same story to you. Once things get better, I'll finally be happy. Once I earn more money, once I have more time, once people treat me fairly, once my worries fade away, then I'll feel at peace. That sounds reasonable, but it is one of the most dangerous ideas you could ever believe, because hidden inside that thought is a quiet surrender. My happiness depends on things outside of me, and the moment you accept that idea, you give away your power. You allow the world to decide how you feel. One rude remark, one bit of bad news, one difficult day, one small disappointment, and suddenly your spirit collapses like a house of cards. So let me ask you an uncomfortable question. If your happiness disappears the moment life becomes hard, was it ever true happiness at all? Or was it simply comfort wearing the mask of happiness? Here is a truth most people never want to face. Happiness is not a gift you are handed. It is a strength you build. It is not luck. It is not an accident. It is not something fate delivers when you finally deserve it. Happiness is a discipline, a daily decision, a skill you practice whether life is gentle or whether life is testing every ounce of your patience. Every morning when you open your eyes, a silent battle begins. Your feelings say, I don't feel like trying today. Your fears say, take the easy path. Your habits say, just do what you always do. And in that small, invisible moment, you make a choice. Will you command your mind, or will your mind command you? Most people wait to feel good before they act strong. Strong people act strong and create the good feeling. That is the difference. The world does not decide your attitude. You do. And the moment you understand that simple truth, everything changes. Here is a hard truth that will change your life the moment you accept it. Your feelings are unreliable. They are powerful. They are real, but they are terrible leaders. If you obey your feelings all the time, you will live a small, unstable life, because feelings change by the hour. One day you feel confident. Next day you feel useless. One moment you feel motivated. Next moment you feel lazy. One conversation lifts you up. Another one knocks you down. If your happiness depends on how you feel, you are building your life on quicksand. That's why so many people are emotionally exhausted. They wake up and ask the wrong question. How do I feel today? And then they let that answer decide everything. Their effort, their attitude, their discipline, their happiness. Strong people ask a different question. What do I choose today? There is a massive difference. One makes you a servant of your mood. The other makes you the master of it. Think about this. Almost everything good in your life happened when you ignored your feelings. You didn't feel like studying, but you did it anyway. You didn't feel like working out, but you went anyway. You didn't feel like pushing forward, but you kept going anyway. And later you were proud of yourself. Why? Because you didn't let a temporary emotion make a permanent decision. Happiness works the same way. You don't wait to feel happy before you act happy. You act with discipline, purpose, and strength, and the feeling follows. Most people have it backward. They say, I'll be positive when things get better. I'll be calm when life is calm. I'll be happy when problems disappear. But life never stays calm for long, so they spend their whole lives waiting for a perfect moment that never arrives. Real happiness doesn't wait. It leads. It gets up even when it's tired. It keeps going even when it's annoyed. It chooses peace even when it's angry. That is not fake. That is power. And the moment you stop obeying every feeling like it's a command, you stop being a victim of your own emotions. You become something stronger. Someone who can say, I don't need perfect conditions to have a strong mindset. And that mindset becomes your unshakable foundation. There is one habit quietly destroying more happiness than any problem you face. It's not stress. It's not failure. It's not even bad luck. It's the habit of waiting to feel ready, waiting for the right time, waiting for life to be easier, waiting for someone else to change. Most people live their whole lives inside that word, later. Later I'll take care of myself. Later I'll fix my mindset. Later I'll start being happy. But here is the brutal truth. Later is where dreams go to die. Because while you wait, life keeps moving. Problems don't pause. Time doesn't pause. Your emotions don't pause. And every day you delay choosing happiness, you train your brain to believe one dangerous lie: I am not in control. You tell yourself happiness is something you'll get someday instead of something you create today. And that idea slowly turns into a prison. Think about how often you say things like, I'll be okay when this problem is over. I'll relax when things calm down. I'll enjoy life when I have more money. That sounds normal, but it's actually a trap, because it means your happiness always lives in the future. And if happiness is always in the future, you will never actually experience it. You will always be chasing, never arriving. Strong people break that habit. They stop saying, I'll be happy when, and they start saying, I choose to be steady now. I choose to be grateful now. I choose to have peace now, even when life is messy. Even when things are uncertain, even when nothing is perfect. They understand something most people never realize. Waiting for happiness is a decision to be unhappy today, and today is the only day you actually have. Happiness doesn't magically appear when your problems disappear. It appears when you stop giving problems permission to control you. The moment you stop waiting, you stop living like a hostage of circumstances. You stop begging life to treat you gently, and you start building inner strength that doesn't depend on good days. That is where freedom begins, real freedom. Not from problems, but from the habit of letting problems run your mind. Right now, something invisible is shaping how happy you feel. It's not your job. It's not your relationships. It's not even your problems. It's the story you tell yourself about them. Two people can live the exact same situation and experience completely different lives. One loses a job and says, my life is ruined. Another loses a job and says, this is a hard chapter, not the whole book. Same event, different story, different happiness. You don't live in reality as much as you live inside your interpretation of reality. And most people are terrible storytellers to themselves. They turn small setbacks into disasters, delays into failures, criticism into proof they're not enough. They walk around with a narrator in their head that sounds like this: this always happens to me. Nothing ever works out. I can't handle this. I'll never be happy. And then they wonder why they feel heavy all the time. Here is something powerful you need to understand. Your brain believes whatever story you repeat. If you constantly describe your life as exhausting, unfair, and hopeless, your mind will make sure you experience it that way. Not because it's true, but because that's the lens you chose. Happiness begins the moment you change the language inside your head. Not by lying to yourself, but by speaking like someone who has control. Instead of, this ruined my day, you say, this was annoying, but I'll handle it. Instead of, I can't deal with this, you say, this is hard, but I'm harder. Instead of, everything is going wrong, you say, this is a tough season, not my whole life. That small shift changes everything, because the words you use become the world you live in. Most people try to change their feelings first. Smart people change their inner dialogue first. They rewrite the script in their head. And when the script changes, their experience of life changes with it. You are not just reacting to life. You are constantly narrating it. And the narrator you choose inside your mind is either building your happiness or quietly destroying it. Whether you realize it or not, your brain already has a default mode, an automatic setting it returns to whenever life gets hard. For some people, the default is calm. For others, it's panic. For some, it's confidence. For others, it's self-doubt. For some, it's optimism. For many, it's worry. And here is the important part. You were not born with that default. You trained it. Every time something went wrong and you reacted with fear, you strengthened the fear setting. Every time you complained instead of adapting, you strengthened the victim setting. Every time you quit because you didn't feel like it, you strengthened the weak setting. Your current level of happiness is not random. It is the result of years of repeated mental habits. That's why some people fall apart over small problems, while others stay steady through storms. It's not personality, it's conditioning. And conditioning can be changed. Right now, when stress hits you, your brain probably runs a familiar script. This is too much. I can't deal with this. Why does this always happen? That script feels natural, but it's not natural, it's rehearsed. You practiced it so many times that it became automatic. The good news? You can rehearse something new. You can train a different default. Imagine becoming the kind of person whose automatic response is, "This is hard, but I'll figure it out." Imagine stress showing up and your first reaction being, "Stay calm, handle it." Imagine disappointment arriving and your mind instantly saying, "Adjust, keep moving." That version of you is not a fantasy. It's a trained mindset. Just like negativity was trained, just like worry was trained, happiness works the same way. It becomes easier the more you practice it. At first it feels forced, then it feels unfamiliar, then it feels normal, until one day calm becomes your natural state, strength becomes your reflex, and happiness stops being something you chase and becomes the setting your mind automatically returns to. That is real emotional freedom. Not because life got easier, but because your inner default got stronger. Here's something almost nobody wants to admit. Your biggest enemy is not stress, it's comfort. Because comfort convinces you to stay exactly where you are. It whispers, "Take it easy. Do it tomorrow. Don't push yourself. You deserve a break." And little by little, you stop challenging yourself. You stop growing, you stop improving, you stop becoming stronger, and something strange happens. The more comfortable you get, the less happy you feel. Have you noticed that? The days where you do nothing meaningful are often the days you feel the worst. Lying around, scrolling, avoiding effort. It feels good for a moment, but by the end of the day you feel empty, restless, unfulfilled, unsatisfied. Because real happiness does not come from comfort. It comes from progress, from doing hard things, from pushing yourself, from knowing you didn't waste the day. Comfort gives you temporary pleasure. Discipline gives you lasting peace. Most people mix those two up. They think an easy life will make them happy. But an easy life usually makes people bored, weak, and anxious. True joy lives on the other side of effort. Think about the best feelings you've ever had. Finishing something difficult, improving yourself, overcoming a challenge, doing what you didn't feel like doing. Those moments felt good because you grew, because you proved something to yourself. Happiness is not sitting on the couch hoping to feel good. Happiness is action, movement, purpose, momentum, and that requires saying no to comfort again and again. Every time you choose the harder, better path, you strengthen something inside you, confidence grows, self-respect grows, inner peace grows, and slowly you stop needing life to be easy to feel okay. You stop needing perfect days because you realize something powerful. Happiness is not built by avoiding discomfort. It is built by becoming stronger than discomfort. Most people are addicted to a fantasy, the fantasy of the perfect day. They imagine happiness like this: a day with no problems, no stress, no bad moods, no surprises, everything smooth, everything easy, everything comfortable. And they think, when I finally get days like that, I'll be happy. But here is the problem. Those days barely exist. And when they do exist, they don't last. Life is unpredictable. People are unpredictable. Circumstances are unpredictable. So if your happiness depends on good days, you will always be fragile. One small inconvenience will break you. One traffic jam, one rude comment, one unexpected bill, and suddenly your good day is gone. Real happiness does not require perfect days. It requires a strong mind. A mind that can say, this day isn't perfect, and I'm okay anyway. Most people wake up hoping the day will treat them kindly. Strong people wake up deciding they will be strong no matter how the day behaves. That is a massive difference. One mindset is passive, the other is powerful. Good days are not created by perfect circumstances. They are created by steady attitudes. Think about this. Two people can live the exact same day. One calls it stressful and terrible. The other calls it challenging but manageable. Same events, different experience. Because happiness is not a weather report, it is an internal decision. You don't need life to be gentle to have peace. You need a mindset that doesn't fall apart when life gets rough. Stop waiting for magical days where everything goes right. Those days will always be rare. Instead, become the kind of person who can have a good day even when things go wrong. That is real freedom, not freedom from problems. Freedom from needing problems to disappear before you feel okay. And once you develop that, almost any day can become a good day. Most people make a quiet mistake every day. They blame how they feel on everything around them. My boss ruined my mood. My partner stressed me out. Traffic made me angry. This situation made me unhappy. It sounds normal, but it's one of the weakest ways to live, because every time you say those words, you're really saying, I am not in control of my own emotions. You're handing the keys of your inner world to other people in random events. And once you do that, happiness becomes impossible to keep. Here is the truth most adults never accept. No one can make you feel anything. They can trigger you. They can test you. They can challenge you, but they cannot control you. Only you can. The moment you take full ownership of your emotions, something powerful happens. You stop living like a victim of the day. You stop saying, they made me angry. And you start saying, I allowed myself to react. That single shift changes everything, because ownership creates power. If someone else controls your mood, you are helpless. But if you control your response, you are free. This doesn't mean ignoring feelings. It means choosing how long you stay in them. You can feel frustrated without becoming frustration. You can feel sad without living in sadness. You can feel angry without acting like anger owns you. That is emotional maturity. Most people never reach it. They spend their lives reacting instead of responding. Strong people do something different. They pause, they breathe, they choose. They understand a simple rule. Events happen outside of me. My reactions happen inside of me, and inside of me, I am in charge. The day you stop blaming the world for how you feel is the day you stop being emotionally fragile. You become steady, grounded, unshakable. And that steadiness becomes the foundation of real, lasting happiness. Here's another lie you've been told your whole life. You need motivation to be happy. You don't. Motivation is emotional weather. Some days it's sunny. Some days it disappears completely. If your happiness depends on motivation, you will be unstable forever. Because motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. Most people wake up and wait to feel inspired. They wait for energy. They wait for a good mood. They wait for the right feeling, and when the feeling doesn't show up, they do nothing. Strong people don't wait. They move anyway. They get up even when they're tired. They act even when they don't feel like it. They choose a good attitude even when it feels unnatural. And something interesting happens. Discipline creates feelings, not the other way around. You don't feel happy and then act strong. You act strong and then you start to feel happy. Think about the days you feel best about yourself. They're not the lazy days. They're the days you showed up, the days you kept your promises, the days you did the hard things, the days you didn't quit on yourself. Those days build self-respect. And self-respect is the backbone of happiness. Discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. Freedom from being controlled by moods. Freedom from being controlled by laziness. Freedom from being controlled by fear. When you live with discipline, your emotions stop running the show. Your values do. You don't need to feel good to behave well. You behave well, and feeling good follows naturally. That is the secret most people never learn. Happiness is not built on inspiration. It is built on daily, boring, consistent choices. Small choices. Get up, move your body, do what matters, keep your word, control your attitude, repeat. And over time, those small disciplined actions create something powerful, a life you are proud of, and pride in who you are creates a happiness no bad day can take away. There is a language happy, strong people speak, and it is completely different from the language most people use. Average people speak in excuses. I can't. It's too hard. I don't feel like it. That's just how I am. Their words make them small. Their language reinforces weakness. Strong people speak differently. They say, I'll figure it out. I can handle this. This is hard, but I'm harder. I don't feel like it, but I'll do it anyway. And those simple sentences slowly build an unstoppable mindset. Most people think happiness is about thinking positive thoughts. It's not. It's about speaking powerful thoughts to yourself. The way you talk to yourself all day long quietly programs your emotions. If your inner voice is negative, tired, and defeated, your mood will follow. If your inner voice is calm, confident, and determined, your happiness grows naturally. Listen carefully. You are always talking to yourself. All day, every situation, every problem, every challenge, and that inner conversation becomes your emotional atmosphere. If you constantly say, this is too much for me, your brain believes it. If you constantly say, I can't deal with this, your brain obeys that command. But if you begin to say, I will stay calm, I will stay steady, I will keep going, your brain slowly rewires itself to match those words. Happiness begins with how you speak to yourself. Not fake cheerleading, not pretending everything is perfect, but disciplined, strong, honest language. The kind that refuses to collapse under pressure. Change your inner vocabulary. Remove phrases like, I hate my life, everything is terrible, this always happens to me, and replace them with, this is temporary. I'm stronger than this moment. I will respond, not react. Those words seem small. But repeated every day, they change who you become. Your life will always move in the direction of your strongest words. So speak like someone who is building happiness, not like someone who is begging for it. Inside you, two versions are always fighting. One wants growth, one wants comfort, one wants discipline, one wants excuses, one wants strength, one wants to quit. And every single day, you decide which side gets stronger, not with big dramatic choices, with small invisible ones. Every time you complain instead of adapting, you feed the weak version. Every time you avoid something hard, you feed the weak version. Every time you blame others for your mood, you feed the weak version, and slowly that side becomes louder, more powerful, more convincing, more in control. But the same is true in the other direction. Every time you do what you don't feel like doing, you feed the strong version. Every time you stay calm under pressure, you feed the strong version. Every time you choose gratitude over negativity, you feed the strong version. Happiness is not random. It is simply the result of which side you've been feeding the most. Most people accidentally train themselves to be unhappy. They rehearse bad moods, they practice frustration, they repeat negative stories, and then they wonder why happiness feels so far away. You cannot feed anger all day and expect peace at night. You cannot feed laziness all week and expect pride on the weekend. You cannot feed fear constantly and expect confidence to appear. Your inner world grows whatever you water. So ask yourself honestly, what have I been feeding lately? Have you been feeding doubt or courage, complaining or gratitude, discipline or excuses, calm or chaos? The answer to that question explains how happy you feel right now. And here is the empowering part. At any moment, you can change the diet. You can stop feeding the version of you that keeps you small and start feeding the version of you that stands tall. Happiness grows wherever attention and discipline go. Choose wisely what you nourish, because one day, the version you fed the most will become who you are. Anyone can feel happy on easy days, when things go your way, when people are kind, when plans work out. That kind of happiness is cheap. It requires no strength. The real test of your mindset shows up on the bad days, the days when nothing goes right. Your energy is low, your patience is thin, and life feels heavy. Those are the days that define you, not because they are fun, but because they reveal the truth about your inner training. Most people think hard days are interruptions. Strong people understand something different. Hard days are the classroom. They are not here to punish you. They are here to build you. Every difficult moment asks you one silent question. Who are you going to be right now? Are you going to be the person who collapses, or the person who adjusts and moves forward? Are you going to be controlled by the day, or lead the day? That decision matters more than the problem itself. Because happiness is not proven when life is smooth. It is proven when life is rough. Anyone can smile when everything is perfect. Real emotional strength is smiling when nothing is perfect. Not because you're pretending, but because you refuse to let circumstances own you. Hard days are where habits show their real power. If you've trained calm, you stay calm. If you've trained discipline, you stay disciplined. If you've trained gratitude, you stay grateful. And if you haven't trained anything, you fall apart. That's why happiness must be practiced before you need it, like a muscle built in the gym before the fight. The people who seem naturally positive are not lucky. They are prepared. They've already rehearsed how to respond. So when the storm hits, they don't panic. They perform. The goal of happiness is not to avoid hard days. That's impossible. The goal is to become the kind of person hard days cannot break. And when you reach that point, you stop fearing life because you know something powerful. No matter what happens today, I can handle it. Most people think happiness is about luck. It's not. It's about standards. The standards you hold for yourself every single day. You don't rise to your hopes. You fall to your habits. And your habits come from your standards. If your standard is, I'll only be calm when everything is perfect, you will almost never be calm. If your standard is, I only feel good on easy days, you will spend most of life feeling bad. Happiness lives at the level of your expectations for yourself, not for the world, for you. Strong people don't have easier lives. They have higher standards. Standards like, I will control my attitude no matter what. I will show up even when I don't feel like it. I will not let small problems ruin my peace. I will respond instead of react. Those standards quietly create a powerful inner life. Most people set very low emotional standards. They say things like, it's normal to be stressed all the time. It's normal to be miserable at work. It's normal to complain every day. And because they accept those standards, they live at that level. But the moment you raise your standards, everything changes. When you decide, I don't accept living in constant frustration. I don't accept letting moods control me. I don't accept giving away my peace so easily. Your mind begins to adjust to that new expectation. Happiness is not something you wait for. It is something you demand from yourself, not in a harsh way, in a disciplined way. You start holding yourself accountable for how you think, how you speak, how you react. And over time, those standards build a stronger version of you, one who doesn't need perfect conditions to feel okay, one who doesn't collapse under small pressures, one who understands that emotional strength is not a gift. It is a requirement you choose to live by. The quality of your happiness will always match the quality of your standards. Raise them, and your inner life will rise with them. Every single day begins with a silent war, not outside of you, inside of you. The moment you open your eyes, your mind starts talking. I'm tired. 5 more minutes. I don't feel like dealing with today. Maybe I'll start tomorrow. Those are not innocent thoughts. They are invitations to give up control. Most people lose their happiness before they even leave their bed because they let those first lazy, negative thoughts set the tone. And once the tone is set, the rest of the day follows it. Bad mornings create bad moods. Bad moods create bad reactions. Bad reactions create bad days. But strong people do something different. They treat the morning like a command center. They don't ask, how do I feel today? They ask, how will I choose to be today? That tiny shift changes everything. Because happiness is not decided at noon. It is decided at sunrise. The first hour of your day is where you either build strength or surrender it. If you start the day scrolling, complaining, rushing, and reacting, you've already handed your peace away. But if you start the day with intention, with a clear decision to control your attitude, you begin to lead your life instead of chasing it. Happiness is created in routines, not in random moments of luck. What you do in the morning quietly programs your emotional state, your energy, your patience, your mindset. Most people wake up accidentally. Strong people wake up on purpose. They decide before the world touches them, today I will stay calm. Today I will stay disciplined. Today I will not let small things steal my joy. That decision is more powerful than any motivational speech because it is personal, it is intentional, it is daily. If you want lasting happiness, stop treating mornings casually. They are not just the start of a day. They are the start of your mindset. Win the morning battle, and you win most of your happiness without even trying. Most people misunderstand gratitude. They think it's something gentle and fragile, like a nice little positive thinking exercise. It's not. Real gratitude is one of the strongest mental weapons you have, especially when life is hard. Anyone can be grateful on good days. When money is flowing, when people are kind, when everything is smooth, that kind of gratitude requires no effort. But choosing gratitude on bad days, that is power. When you're tired, when you're frustrated, when things are falling apart, and you still pause and say, I have something to be thankful for. That single act rewires your entire emotional state. Gratitude does something powerful to your mind. It interrupts negativity. It breaks the spiral of fear and anger. It reminds you that your whole life is not just this one problem. Most people let one bad moment ruin an entire day. Gratitude refuses to let that happen. It says, yes, this is hard, but it is not everything. Yes, this hurts, but there is still good here. Gratitude doesn't deny reality. It balances reality. It stops your brain from zooming in on only what is wrong and forces you to remember what is still right. That is emotional control, not pretending life is perfect, but refusing to let problems become your entire focus. Gratitude trains your brain to see options instead of walls, to see lessons instead of only losses, to see strength instead of only struggle. Happiness grows wherever gratitude is practiced. Not because life suddenly changes, changes, but because your perspective changes. And perspective is everything. The strongest people on earth are not those with easy lives. They are the ones who learn to say thank you, even in storms, because they understand a deep truth. Gratitude doesn't wait for happiness. Gratitude creates happiness. Here is a truth that will save you years of frustration. The world does not owe you comfort. It does not owe you fairness. It does not owe you easy days. It does not owe you understanding. And the moment you stop expecting those things, you stop being constantly disappointed. Most people are secretly angry at life. Angry that problems exist, angry that people disappoint them, angry that things don't go as planned, and that anger slowly steals their happiness because they believe a quiet lie. Life is supposed to be smooth, but life was never designed to be smooth. It was designed to test you, to challenge you, to stretch you, to grow you. Strong people understand this early. They don't walk around thinking, why is this happening to me? They think, this is happening. How will I respond? That single shift changes everything. When you stop demanding that life be easy, you stop being shocked every time it gets hard. And when you stop being shocked, you stop losing your peace so easily. Happiness is not built by living in a soft world. It is built by becoming a strong person, a person who can handle criticism, handle pressure, handle uncertainty, handle disappointment. The world will never stop throwing challenges at you. Never. So you have two choices: spend your life wishing the world was different, or build a mindset that can stand inside the chaos. One path leads to constant frustration. The other leads to unshakable calm. Happiness is not about changing everything around you. It is about becoming someone who doesn't need everything to change. The moment you accept that life will be messy, you stop fighting reality. And when you stop fighting reality, you finally find peace inside it. There is a painful truth most people avoid. No one is coming to save you. Not emotionally, not mentally, not in the way you secretly hope. Friends can support you. Family can encourage you. People can love you, but no one can climb inside your mind and fix your happiness. That responsibility is yours alone. And the day you accept that is the day your power returns. Most people wait for something external to change them. A better job, a better relationship, a better situation. They believe happiness will arrive when life finally treats them kindly, but life rarely does. So they wait and wait and wait, and nothing changes. Strong people stop waiting. They realize something most never understand. Happiness is an inside job. You cannot outsource it. You cannot borrow it. You cannot beg someone else to create it for you. You must build it yourself. That sounds harsh, but it is actually freeing, because it means your happiness is not trapped in other people's hands. It lives in your choices, your mindset, your habits, your discipline. Most people want someone to lift them out of misery, but misery only ends when you decide to lift yourself. When you stop asking, who will help me feel better, and start asking, what can I do right now to feel stronger? That question changes everything. You become the hero of your own story, not a victim waiting for rescue. And once you take that role, your entire life shifts. Happiness stops being something you search for and becomes something you create every day, one decision at a time. One. At some point, happiness stops being about tricks and techniques. It becomes about identity. Who do you believe you are? Most people see themselves as fragile. I'm just an anxious person. I'm just emotional. I'm not good at handling stress. I've always been this way. And because they believe that story, they live inside it. Your identity silently controls your happiness. If you see yourself as weak, you will act weak. If you see yourself as easily overwhelmed, you will get overwhelmed. But the moment you change your self-image, your entire emotional life changes with it. Strong people don't just practice happy habits. They adopt a powerful identity. They stop saying, this is just how I am, and start saying, this is who I choose to become. They see themselves as someone who stays calm under pressure, someone who handles problems maturely, someone who controls their attitude, someone who doesn't fall apart easily. And because they believe that, they begin to act that way. Happiness is not just something you do. It is something you become. When you shift from thinking, I'm trying to be happier, to I am the kind of person who builds happiness, everything changes. Your standards rise. Your discipline rises. Your reactions improve. You stop behaving like a victim of moods and start behaving like a leader of yourself. The most powerful transformation happens when you stop chasing happiness and start identifying as someone who creates it. That identity becomes stronger than any bad day. Stronger than any problem, stronger than any feeling, and once you step into that version of yourself, happiness stops being fragile. It becomes who you are. Here is what all of this comes down to. Happiness is not found. It is built. Built in the mornings you don't feel like getting up. Built in the moments you choose calm over chaos. Built in the days you keep going when quitting would be easier. It is not a prize life hands to lucky people. It is a structure you create inside yourself, brick by brick. Choice by choice, thought by thought. Most people spend their whole lives waiting for happiness to arrive. Strong people understand something deeper. Happiness arrives the moment you stop waiting and start working on your mindset. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need a flawless life. You don't need every problem solved. You need discipline, awareness, ownership, standards. Every day you wake up, you are given the same opportunity to complain or to adapt, to react or to respond, to surrender or to rise. That daily decision is where happiness lives, not in big dramatic breakthroughs, but in small, quiet choices repeated over and over again. The happiest people are not the ones with the easiest lives. They are the ones who learn to master themselves. They learn to control their inner world, even when the outer world was messy. So remember this, life will always be unpredictable, but your mindset does not have to be. Problems will always appear, but your peace does not have to disappear with them. You will never control everything that happens, but you will always control who you choose to be. And that is the real secret. Happiness is not something you chase in the future. It is something you practice today, right now, in the way you think, in the way you speak, in the way you respond. Choose it, train it, build it, and one day you will realize happiness was never hiding from you. It was waiting for you to become strong enough to create it.